Hello everyone, InformationBoxTicket Lifestyles brings you Bacillus Anthracis. But don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon button so you don't miss any of my videos. So today we'll get to know about Bacillus Anthracis. First we'll learn about its characteristics, its transmission, risk factors, pathogenesis and its most common form, and other diseases and its treatment. First, let's get into the characteristics of Bacillus anthracis. It is a gram-positive rod which forms spores that can survive in soil for a long time in a dormant state. It is described as looking like a serpentine or medusa head. Colonies form a long chain. It is the only bacterium having a polypeptide capsule, poly-D glutamate. Next, we will learn about its transmission. It is transmitted through inhalation of spores, direct contact with the skin, and ingestion of spores. Actually, anthrax is a zoonotic disease, and its common hosts are wild or domestic livestock such as cow, cattle, horses, and goats. Anthrax is not contagious. You cannot catch anthrax from another person the way you might catch a cold or a flu. In rare cases, person-to-person transmission have been reported with cutaneous anthrax, where discharges from the skin lesions might be infectious. The risk factor includes using drugs intravenously, which is heroin, working with animals who have not been vaccinated, and workplace exposure to animal skins. Certain activities can increase the chances of getting anthrax, which is working with infected animals or animal products. Most people who get sick from anthrax are exposed while working with infected animals or animal products such as wools, hides, or hair. Whereas people who eat raw and undercooked meat from infected animals may get sick with gastrointestinal anthrax. This usually occurs in countries where livestock are not routinely vaccinated against anthrax and food animals are not inspected prior to slaughter. Kindly don't forget to support this channel by giving a subscribe to this channel. Pathogenesis. Anthrax toxin composed of three components. Number 1, edema toxin. Number 2, lethal toxin. And number 3, protective antigen. Number 1, edema toxin. This serves the same purpose as adenylate cyclase by binding calmodulin, which results in black eschar with edematous borders, vasodilation, and hypertension. Number 2, lethal toxin. The mitogen-activated protein kinases are broken down by a protease MARC, inhibiting this signaling pathway and resulting in macrophage apoptosis. Many cell processes are impaired, resulting in death, necrosis, cell death, and necrosis in ulcers, as well as tissue destruction in anthracis infections. Number 3, protective antigen, which enables the entry of ET, edema toxin, and lethal toxin into cells by binding with both poisons. The combination of lethal toxin, which constitute the protective antigen, and the lethal factor, and the edema toxin, which constitutes the protective antigen and edema factor, can induce severe cases of disease. Out of the three factors, the protective antigen plays a crucial role in the toxin action of Bacillus anthracis. Protective antigen is important in anthrax poisoning because it allows the connection and entry of the lethal factor and edema factor into the cytosol. It also helps bind the cell receptor, the lethal factor and the edema factor, to the host cell. Protective antigen is a primary antigen that exists in anthrax vaccines. The edema factor is a cyclase that causes an imbalance of water homeostasis. The edema toxin may increase host susceptibility to infection by disrupting the cytokine response to monocytes and by suppressing neutrophil functions. The lethal factor is a metalloprotease that cleaves major pathways to surface receptors for the transcription of certain genes within the nucleus, while the capsule enhances the violence by inhibiting the phagocytosis of Bacillus anthracis. The most common form, cutaneous anthrax. It is the spread of spores into subcutaneous tissue which enters the body through a skin wound or other open sores. It causes systematic symptoms which can occur as fever, malaise, and headache. It causes papules, which is painless necrotic ulcer covered with black eschar, formed by release of toxins. Lethal factor and edema factor leading to edema and necrosis. Uncommonly progresses to bacteremia and death. The signs and symptoms are a raised itchy bump resembling an insect bite that quickly develops into a painful sore with black eschar, lymphodenopathy, lymphatitis, and surrounding edema. Next form is pulmonary anthrax, also known as Walls-Soster's disease. It is caused by inhalation of spores and its symptoms are flu-like symptoms, megalia, fever, malaise, which rapidly progress to hemorrhagic mediastinus, widened mediastinum on X-ray, pulmonary hemorrhage, bloody purinal effusions, septic shock, and even death. It is a biphasic illness which is in two forms. The first phase is prodromal phase, which is a flu-like symptoms, and the second phase is fulminant phase, which rapidly progressive respiratory failure, bacteremia, shock, meningitis, and up to 50% almost universally fatal. Kindly don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
Treatment.
Ciprofloxacin or doxycycline for all patients. Protein synthesis inhibitor are for systematic anthrax in combination with quinolone or doxycycline. Its mechanism is to reduce toxin production. Antitoxin for all patients, which is monoclonal antibodies, Rexibacuma and abitoximab, and anthrax immunoglobulin. Proper prevention measures in mostly agricultural settings include proper disposal of infected animals, polluted equipments, and vaccination. Out of many pathogenic bacteria, Bacillus Anthracis is one that can be used for bioterrorism. Of its three types, Cutaneous, inhalation, gastrointestinal, inhalation anthrax has been related to bioterrorism because of its modes of transmission. A global awareness should be created to reject the development of anthrax as weapons and provide a better means to fight this deadly disease. Health agencies and organizations should emulate the work of agencies such as Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the World Health Organization to find a better understanding of this deadly disease and ensure the safety of human and animal and property. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon button so you don't miss any of my lectures. Kindly give a subscribe to this channel so that I can make more videos for you. Thank you so much. Here are many useful playlists and videos for you to check.